everyone, welcome back to Swipe to Learn. I'm excited to announce that we are starting a brand new series on DBMS. If you are new here, consider subscribing for more tutorials and explanation. For those who have been following our channel, you might know that we have recently wrapped up a popular Python series from hero to beginner that resonated well with many of you. If you missed it, don't worry. You can catch up on that series and get started with the fundamentals of programming. Now, let's dive into the world of databases and explore the concepts, tools, and techniques that will help you master DBMS. From basic database design to advanced querying, we'll cover it all in this series. So hit the subscribe button and get the notification bell on, and let's get started with our first video in the DBMS series. So we'll be going back to the history. Like, why do we need actually database? Like, what is this database management system? What is data here? Everything. So data in the everything whatever we see is stored in the data. Data is primarily stored in the file-based systems, also known as file processing systems. So this is called as FPS. Whatever the data we use, we collect, will be storing in the files, say image files, video files, audio, everything. So what are the challenges of these file-based systems? Over the many years, file processing system is only being in the progress. So what are the challenges here? The primary challenge is data redundancy. Whenever the same data might be stored in multiple files, it leads to inconsistencies. And if you say with the name P1 dot image, you'll be having P1 dot image in multiple files, and you also have the naming conventions for every time whenever you search for it to store some image, you need to search for the new name. Sometimes you might be encountering same name files with different content in it also. So difficulty in data management. Whenever you update or retrieve some of the data, so if you have two copies of files, say S1 and S2, if you update in S1, it might not be updated in the S2. Say you're sending the same copy of data, you have two copies. So whenever you update or retrieve in this, it don't get update in the file S2. And security issues. So there are some specific data within files. So we need to restrict some of the data, or we need to process some of the data to all your team members. So in that way, you have some security issues. So this is why FPS have degraded, and now we are using the DBMS. So let's see word by word what is data, what is database, everything. Data. So firstly, what is data? Data is nothing but some facts or some statistics, like something we call, suppose if you see a college canteen, like the number of people are coming in and out. So if you take each member coming in and going at certain time, this is called as a data. Like you have some collection of some facts or some happened incidents, that is called as data. So whenever the data is processed, then it forms as an information. So you have all the data, like a person come at what time and come at it goes at what time and what he eats, what he orders, like that. If you say that's the data, and I'm collecting as an information, like I need the persons who is coming from the intervals time 9 to 10 morning. So when I am processing this data and I am retrieving all the persons who coming in this time interval, then that is called as information. So I am performing some process to it. What is my process here? Or you can also say in the programming way, it's as a function. So I am processing a function called I need all the data who comes from between 9 to 10 time intervals. This is called as information. So if I make a collection of this data, like I need intervals from 8 to 9, 9 to 10, and 10 to 11. So then this data is completely called as a database. Like I have all the time intervals and number of persons coming in and out. So this is called as the database. Like you are collecting this data and information. Like firstly, you collect the data that is processed to form as information, and the way of storing this related data organized in such a way like you will be easily accessed, managed, and updated. Like better use of the data, that is called as the database. It can be a software based or hardware based or with one sole purpose, only just storing the data. Like I'm not going to perform any of the functionalities like update or deletion or insertion something, but I just need to see the data. Just need to store the data. That is called as a database. So if you see with the DBMS, that is database management system, it's a software that allows us to create the data, define the data, manipulate the data, and allowing the users to store, process, and analyze. Like you will be creating the new data, you will be inserting the data, you will be manipulating everything. DBMS is something like is an interface or tool that used to perform various operations like creating database, storing data in it, updating data, everything. It provides protection and security to the databases, and it also maintains the data consistency in case of multiple users. Suppose you join in the teams and you update some data, or you have the visibility of showing some data access, and the other person should also have that visibility, right? So it comprises all the group of people who have the data access to multiple users, and it provides the data consistency. Whenever I update the data, that the other persons in your team also have the access that you have updated this data, so they can get update or notified. This is called as DBMS. So most popular DBMS software examples are MySQL, Oracle SQL Server. Like these are like most used and most commonly listened DBMS tools. So let's go over the pictorial representation of DBMS. So what is it? This database? DBMS is a software or it is a user interface between the application or user, whoever it is, and the data. This is a storage fixed location, and this is a user who will be using or either application or software. This mediator is called as the DBMS, and we connect this DBMS system, that is a software interface tool, with an API. API is called as Application Programming Interface. So with the help of API, we are connecting the different database systems to the application or the end user. If you go and see with the characteristics of the DBMS characteristics are very important, and some might be asking you what are the characteristics of DBMS? Like what is DBMS? You can say all of these characteristics. And DBMS data is always stored into the tables. Like it provides the tables so that it helps in the ease of the representation, in ease of the access to the data. Redundancy. What is meant by redundancy? Like same data is repeating again and again is called as a redundancy. So whatever we follow, however we follow, even we upgrade, even the DBMS also possesses redundancy, but it has a reduced redundancy compared to the FPS systems. So unnecessary repetition of data and the database is a big problem. Like if you store a data in this hard drive, it's expensive. But in the earlier it's very expensive, but nowadays these are cheap. But whatever is data, now the data is vast. We have loads of data. And to need to store data, we need the database. So if you keep on duplicating the data, we can't store the original data which is actually required. So redundancy is a very big problem in the database systems. And data consistency, whenever you have the live data, like if a person is updated, so say the x value is 5 and I am a team member and I have updated this x value as 10, so all other my team members also should know that its x is 10, so that they are performing the operation function x square plus 5, and I am performing operation x cube. So whatever x I am updated this x value, say the code is x equals to x cube, I have updated. And whenever the next series of action is x square plus 5, that is my other team member would perform. So he or she must know this x is updated to x equals x cube. So I need to rewrite this x value and find the original x value, so that the after performing operations will lead to the correct result value. The further characteristics follow, it perform multiple users. Like multiple users can still work on the database. Like it's not only a single person who take care of the entire alone database, right? So it supports multiple user and concurrent access, and it has a query language. It's a simple query language. It's not something like you put into the software or something not very fictional. It's something you can just write with a single query where the data can be easily fetched, inserted, deleted, and updated in the database. DBMS provides a lot of security from unauthorized access, and we can create user access with different permissions and roles and responsibilities. Integrity. It provides allows the user to better handle and manage data integrity in the real world applications. See with the database advantages and disadvantages, however we use. So sometimes the system may be complex. So coming to the advantages of DBMS, like it stores and retrieves the data in a series of manners. So whenever the DBMS hardware software is like enormously expensive, sometimes it may be expensive to take some cloud space. So it impacts the organization's budget. And a DBMS is a reliable manager. It handles n number of applications requiring the identical data. And a DBMS is also inadequate for doing complex mathematical calculations. You can't perform integrals, differentiations, right? And data integrity and security are guaranteed by DBMS. And most of the DBMS systems are complicated. Employees should always have a proper knowledge to how to operate them. The DBMS implements integrity constraints to provide a high degree of protection against unauthorized access to information. You can't possess each and every one responsibility. You have some roles of admin, sometimes user, sometimes the developer, sometimes the tester. Only he or she can only perform the actions that are accessible to them only. And so whenever the application is used n number of times simultaneously, sometimes it also leads to data loss. So we also need to be take care of how the data is used and how the DBMS is working. With this, we come to an end of a starting introduction of your DBMS learning. So congratulations on kickstarting your DBMS learning. Subscribe the bell button and to get more updates from Swipe to Learn. We'll be back with another new video in the next week. Thank you for watching.